Gotta bring up my chat. There we go. Telephone with chat. Figure out where my train simulator window has gone to. There it is. Very good. Alrighty. I think there's 53. I wish Train Simulator itself had more long drives on this route. Alright. It's afternoon peak, and you are in charge of train 1S54 from London to Dover Priory via Chatham Mainline. Let's do this. Hello, Pieman. How's it going? Good to see you. I'm gonna grab my water real quick. And my coffee. Two important things to have. But I'm going to put my coffee not right over my computer. Alright. Now we're in good shape here. What are you up to this, excuse me, fine weekend, Pie Man there? One S54 1710 London Victoria to Dover Priory. You are in charge of train 1S54 from London Victoria to Dover Priory. Open the doors to let people in. You will depart at 17:10. Arrive at Dover Priory. Arrival at Dover Priory is expected by 19:05. You will find a list of all of your scheduled stops in your work order F1. Let's get ourselves into forward. Open the doors. Turn on some headlights. Or my headlights. What do we have to get set up here? We need headlights. Thought they were on the side here. Ah, they are on the side. Headlights. Day running. There we go. Let's look at the front. Very nice. Sounds like an interesting day planned for yourself there. So we are taking this class 375 southeastern service all the way from London Victoria to Dover Priory on the southeast coast of England. I think it was last weekend, I did another journey along the Chatham Mainline all the way from London Victoria out to the southeast, and today we're doing another one. London Victoria is generally quite a busy station near the centre of London, Buckingham Palace, the Mall, all that good stuff. It is an afternoon in summer. Where's some trees? Autumn, maybe? Kind of look like autumn trees to me. Sun is a bit low in the sky, presumably somewhere. There it is. At 5:08 p.m. So it might get a little dark by the time we get towards Dover Priory, but we shall see. We're going to be going via Canterbury, so that'll be fun. And this will be a bit of route learning. Hey, Michael Baker. Is that a reaction to what Pie Man said? Yeah, I'm as confused as you are. I'm trying what I tried last time, which is doing what I like to do, spreading my train simulator across all 5 of my monitors see how that works. Last time it did fine. My computer was able to resample something that was wider than 4K down to 1080p for streaming. But we shall see. We shall see. All right. 1710. Guard says go. We go. 15-mile-an-hour limit. Cleared out of the platform. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coaches today. We're going to aim for as perfect as we can. Good roll. Good braking. It's a busy afternoon here at London Victoria. Rush hour, presumably. Our next stop will be Bromley South in 11 miles. Wiggling our way to the left. We are in the UK, so we drive on the left side of the rails, just like on the roads. We'll be crossing the Thames, headed south shortly. Past Battersea Power Station and continue from there. There we go. Almost in this 20-mile-an-hour limit. There we go. Entering a 40 limit, but of course have to wait for the whole train to get into the 40 AWS. Ding. There are the 4 smokestacks of Battersea Power Station. As I mentioned, every time I pass it, now converted to apartments, and with a new overground station opened as well, if I recall correctly. This is, by the way, as far as I can recall, I'm kind of losing count of them, but I think this is Kerm Martian Live number 53. 53 in my train simulator streaming series. I've slightly lost count of which one it is in my train simulator classic series in general, the new name for what was previously Train Simulator 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. But if I post this on YouTube, I'm sure I'll figure it out by then. Oh, about to speed. 0.1 miles an hour over. We can live with that. We have diverged a bit, I believe, towards the southeast. How about you, Michael? What are you up to this fine Saturday? .4 miles an hour, close enough. Hello, train. AWS. My last train simulator stream was the same route, except we went to Margate and Ramsgate rather than to Dover Priory, so we branch off. Is it at Faversham? We have an AWS alert for a speed limit change. That's at 30 miles an hour. So that would appear to indicate that we'll be diverging. Even though the feather is not on, so I'm not sure about that. But we'll go 30 just to be safe. Nope, we are not diverging. Alright. That signal must have been yellow and clear in front of us then. It's interesting. do have a green. Let's go. Got places to be. Triple digits down, yeah. It's summer, all right. Yesterday it was relatively cool in just bare temperature where I live, but the humidity was almost 100%, so it was pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. As dads everywhere love to say, it's not the heat that'll get you, it's the humidity. AWS? Ding. Alright, we're clear. 45 miles an hour as we head towards Bromley South in 8 1/4 miles. $20 limit for diverging, but ding means we're not diverging. Two lines split off here, as you can see. Ding. Ding. Yeah, it hasn't, the temperature hasn't actually gotten that high here yet. It's been mostly in the 70s and 80s. Hasn't really gotten up towards the 90s. I far prefer cool weather myself. AWS, that's for the speed limit. Just coast down to 45. There's the warning for the 45, which feels a little close to the limit itself, but whatever. There's the 45 limit itself. As we merge in here. We've got 45 through the station here before we go back up to 60. What station is this? Some hill. Big savings! Hern Hill. Very good. I have my track atlas here in handy, but I haven't opened it up yet. Last time I found it, slightly speeding there by 0.2 miles an hour. I found it quite handy last time to consult as I went. It tells me the distances between stations and general track layout, etc. for the UK. Ding. Every time I look away for even a second, I'm reminded of how important it is to have constant vigilance as a train operator. Even just glancing at the chat for this stream on my phone, I missed a little bit of speeding. Goes to show. It's a pretty pleasant afternoon here in the UK. In Train Simulator, that is. I can only imagine we have a busy train. I'm gonna risk it and look into my carriages real quick. Seems like I have the carriage to myself. Clear signal as we go through the station. There's our train today. Very nice, very nice. Little screenshot action there. Slightly faster, I think. Still 5.5 miles to Bromley South. We're going up a hill, so we need some more power. Speed and power. Power and speed. Catch what station that is. bit of speed there. Quite a bit of speed, actually. Trying to maintain my speed going up this hill, but then we stopped going up the hill. It was quite a long tunnel. I think I recall this being over a mile when I last looked. We are slightly decelerating as we head down this hill, the throttle centered, and we do have a 40 limit coming up after this tunnel. So Pie Man, I'm glad to hear you're going to be getting a Chematech tattoo at some point. It's exciting. Just in time. We have a yellow signal there. So let us be cautious. Yep. Double yellow. Could be followed by a single yellow and then a red. No spatting today, thank you. We also have a 40 we need to get down for anyway. We will be diverging, says that signal up ahead. I see it. Gotta be down to 40, which we are. I know. Just coast through here at 35. No reason to rush. We're estimated to be at least 12 seconds early. We have the time to spare. Clear signal up there. My mouse is quite annoying though. Put it over there. Almost at a 60 zone. There's the 60, and there's speed. Oh yeah, the chevron would look very cool as a tattoo. Let's get up to that 60. We've got places to be. Ooh, that was bumpy. I did have a yellow signal ahead, but it cleared, so we're following another train. .55 miles an hour. And there's 60. Center of the key. Not the key, center of the throttle. Clear signal. We can go a little faster. And here comes Bromley South, our first station stop after our starting point of London Victoria along this journey. As the buildings suddenly appear. Train simulator, you are nothing if not interesting. We are still estimated to be slightly early. Excuse me, to Bromley South. We'll see if we can maintain that. This is not Bromley South, however. AWS Sting. I seem to recall from when I drove this train last week that the brakes were pretty good. We have 10 coaches instead of, I think we had an 8-coach train last time. More cars to slow down, more brakes to do it. Ding. Clear repeater, clear signal. So let's start. Nah, it's a little premature to slow down. That'd be a nice place to live, overlooking the tracks. I would very much like that. Now we can start slowing down. Got to hit the 10-car marker or the S-car stop, which should be pretty much at the end of the platform for such a long train. There's 6 to 8. There is 10 to 12 at the end of the platform. I was a little too cautious with that deceleration, but that's alright. Better than overshooting the platform. Yeah, that'll work. And doors. Folks, this is Bromley South. Please take all of your belongings if you're exiting the train here at Bromley South. Just gonna quick check my track map here and see if I can bring up the correct page. Brombro, Broken Cross, Bromley's, Bromley South, 114C3. Page 114, grid C3. C3. Here's 3, here's C, there's Bromley South. Next stop will be Bickley, or next station we go through anyway. Alright, we're going all the way to Rochester. Guard says go, we go. Next stop, Rochester, 22.5 miles. Come on, train. Why so sluggish? My brakes are all the way released. Let's go. It feels so slow. You do mean the chevron Pie Man, right, by the Doors logo? Although you talked about pixels, so maybe you mean in actual pixelated form, not in curvy chevrons. That would be cool if it was pixelated. That would be a cool tattoo. 60-mile-an-hour limit, but we have a restricting signal, so... Oh, no, we don't. We have a clear signal. That's for the adjacent track. Clear AWS. $55 miles an hour. Yeah, that would look cool. A TI-84 style pixelated chevron for the Dorsey S logo. I feel like that also encompasses just sort of calculators in general with the low-res pixelated look. Clear AWS. This would be Bickley. Next stop, I believe, will be St. Mary. And then we'll go to Belfast, I think. Huh. I don't know what the key I'm pressing does. Something. I was pressing the Z key, and I don't know what that does in Train Simulator on this route. 40-mile-an-hour limit if we're diverging. Luckily we are not. Another train coming in. Very nice. Clear signal. Tracks joining us from somewhere. 60 limit, as we know, with a 90 coming up. My speed is coming down, and I'm in neutral. Interesting. That would suggest that whatever I press put me in neutral. Well, there we go then. I wonder what that was. Train Simulator has a lot of very useful shortcuts. Unfortunately, finding the reference to what all the shortcuts are is generally a challenge, especially since it varies equipment by equipment. I think the most egregious version of that is in the Northeast Corridor, New York Penn Station to New Haven route. I managed to trigger the parking brake on the ACS 64 electric locomotive, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how I had done it or how to release it. Eventually, an acquaintance, a friend, told me where it is on the real train, and I forget if I was able to look behind myself in the game and actually just flip the parking brake switch, or if I eventually found the key in some obscure PDF manual that doesn't come with the game telling me how to disable the parking brake. So I've been thinking quite a bit lately about a project to construct a controller setup for myself, like a real train. If you've ever seen Train Simulator's Rail Driver, it's this USB connectable console that has throttle, brake, lots of buttons, AWS button to smash, you know, all kinds of nice tactile controls. I think it's pretty nice. It appears to be quite plastic, though, so I worry about it feeling solid and heavy enough. So, you know, I'm vaguely interested in the idea of building one myself out of either real decommissioned train controller parts or just more metal solid components, controls. But it is not something I have time for immediately, so a long-term pondering. I did speed slightly there, but just by about a mile an hour, and it quickly came off again. AWS warning for the speed limit, 75 says the sign. One day I'll try to do this without the HUD, but I have to be more familiar with the route to feel comfortable doing that. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a serious hardware project of any sort, so I think that would be a really cool project. I don't necessarily have all the tooling to do it here. I feel like some 3D printing could be helpful, and I don't have my 3D printer handy here. But I guess I could always make do with getting things fabricated with something like Shapeways. AWS, clear. .90 limit. Wait till our whole train gets into the 90, and then power and speed, speed and power. And I have to be aware of the whistle boards coming up. As well as that interesting copse of trees that's right there. Very picturesque, actually. With the clouds in the sky at the golden hour of the day. Whistle board. 86 miles an hour. Now there's more trees. There's the grade crossing. As I said last time, they keep decommissioning those, sadly. Like so many places, grade crossings are a dying breed. Clear signal. Clear AWS. Milepost. Bridge. Gotta name everything we're passing. And a whistle board. There's the grade crossing. Very nice. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And the grade crossing here in the countryside. A nice little pedestrian crossing. Good place to stand and watch the trains whiz by. And we're speeding. I saw that just as it happened. It's so much easier to maintain speed when you have an analog dial. So sometimes, I know. Sometimes I'll adjust my interface so I'm looking at it like this so I can see the speedometer, I can see the brake line and brake reservoir pressure here. Brake cylinder and brake reservoir. But, I don't know, since I have limited height of monitors to look at, it's nice to just look straight ahead and see the scenery. It is a slight handicap. Why is my speed coming down so aggressively with this hill? Full throttle is just countering the hill here. This is one of the longer routes that's available from Dovetail Games itself, all the way from London Victoria to either Ramsgate and Margate or Dover Priory via Canterbury. I think that's a distance of like 80 miles. We have a warning for 65. I don't think we're diverging, but we got a warning for something, so let us slow down. We're not diverging here. I don't know what that warning was for then. That was a phantom. Clear AWS, we can speed up again. 10 2/3 miles until Rochester. New Rochester platforms, not the old Rochester. This is real pretty. Real pretty. Let me just see what station this is. Oh, sir. Longfield. 75 miles an hour, accelerating to 90. Longfield. Next stop is Meokum. And then Seoul something. Gotta flip to page 21 to see what. Clear AWS. 78 miles an hour. Got another whistle board and another pedestrian crossing. And there's the crossing. Just imagine a small Kerm standing at the crossing and taking a video of the train going by. Sadly, in Train Simulator Classic, you can't just get out of the train and wander around the world. Train Sim World, you can. I saw rumors this week that there will be a Train Sim World 3. Met with very mixed reactions because people are concerned about having to buy their DLC all over again. But we will see. We will see what happens. Now, we have a 70 coming up. I'm going to try to play this by the real world rules where either I would know in my head that there was a 70 coming up because a train driver is responsible for knowing where all the speed limit changes are along the route, or ideally there will be a sign telling me about it. and an AWS warning telling me to slow down. But we're getting mighty close to that 70 with no such sign. So I'm gonna just have to... oh boy. I don't think so. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Folks, we apologize for that sudden deceleration. Today's engineer was hoping that Train Simulator was going to have the things it should have. It did not. I really think that's something omitted from the game. I don't feel like that sign would be missing in the real world, and there would be a lack of AWS warnings about the speed change. But all is well. We just had to do some pretty heavy deceleration. Soul Street, that was. Yoda, I am not. Next stop will be Rochester. Next station we go through will be Rochester. Every time, gotta keep my eyes on the track, even consulting my book for a moment. Speeding. Believe it or not, speeding. Undercook, overcook. I did a little bit of recording for narration for a new back-to-school graphing calculator guide last Saturday. I didn't have a chance to take screenshots or make photos or take any videos to compose the rest of the back to school calculator guide, but I hope to get that out in the next week or so. It is early-ish July, which is, you know, basically almost back to school here in the US, which is insanity. Like, I feel like back to school should be like the end of August, but that's definitely not the case. So, do want to make sure people have all the information they can when they go to buy their next graphing calculator. As I think I mentioned before, my graphing calculator videos on YouTube get orders of magnitude more views than my train videos, which is what I expect. You know, I feel like a lot more people need to use graphing calculators and need to learn how to use them effectively than are involved in train simulation specifically or care about watching simulated trains. And I'm certainly better known in the calculator world than in the train world. So, stands to reason. Streaming's interesting. I feel like a lot of people are drawn by the allure of streaming, of just playing games and being engaging and getting lots of popularity. Like so many things, like being a musician or whatever. I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, 0.0001% of people actually become famous or successful and gather any sort of notable audience with streaming. So it's not really a realistic thing to strive for, but that's fine. I just enjoy doing it for fun. As you may recall, I used to just teletrain. Film myself playing Train Simulator and then post the videos up on YouTube. And it's basically the same thing, except I get to occasionally have great folks like you people joining me to just keep me company while I do it. So it's nice. It's a good combination of something I enjoy, you know, for itself, and just making it a little bit more social. Especially giving me a chance to catch up with some of you folks that I don't talk to very often. Pieman in particular, I feel like I never talk to you on Chemetech's Discord. And to be fair, I'm not very active on IRC and Discord these days, busy as I am with my other real life stuff. A little bit shaky there. See, here's an AWS alert and a speed limit sign warning us of the 30 coming up, which is as it should be. Maybe it doesn't warn of 15-mile-an-hour limit changes or less. It's interesting. I'd be curious exactly what the regulations are. Well, Train Simulator is a tough one too. I mean, yeah, sure, anything I feel like it's hard to not only talk, but talk in an engaging way. I know this is something TI Freak has spent a lot of time honing for his Minecraft videos. Train Simulator in particular, being, as I've demonstrated so many times, there's a balance between talking in an engaging way and having a good patter going on and doing well at playing Train Simulator, because it does require so much concentration. And I don't know that I have been happy with either end of things. When I'm just quiet and focused, it doesn't make for as engaging content, but I do tend to do well. I tend to get perfect or nearly perfect in my Train Simulator, but the videos are very quiet. Whereas when I have more narration and patter and talk about things in the world of trains, it's more engaging, but I often make mistakes, and then I feel sad because I could have gotten it perfect and I didn't. Welcome to Rochester. We are easing our way into Rochester Station, which you can see just appearing at the edge of the HUD here. Here comes our train. Picturesque car park. Another car park. How about some nice buildings and not some parked cars? There we go. Very nice. We are supposed to be at Rochester at 49:30, and we're supposed to be there at 48:15, and we're speeding by 0.2 miles an hour. Going down a little hill, I guess. So it would appear. The famous and visually distinct bridge I called out last time. I hope my narration of this particular route doesn't get too monotonous. This does overlap a lot with what I did last time, at least up until this point. I think all the way to Faversham. I don't lurk a lot on Discord. I just don't have it open the way I used to have IRC open, which is both good and bad. Less distraction, but also means I chat less. Clear signal. 30 limit for passenger service. 25 for freight. 25 if we're diverging. We're not. Well, we're going this way. Tough to determine which of those is diverging and which is a straight. And let's just start bringing the speed down. I'm sure we'll be stopping right at the end of the platform with our 10-car consist. We're here in plenty of time. Almost 2 minutes early, so no rush. There's the 8-car stop. 10 is going to be at the end of the platform. A little bit of brake fanning there, not my favorite, but not bad. Not bad. Hello folks, this is Rochester. This is your service to Dover Priory. If Rochester is your final destination, please be sure to gather all of your belongings before embarking from today's train. And as always, mind the gap. (5:48 p.m.) 38 minutes from our Victoria departure, we've reached Rochester. And from here, if I take a look at my track map, we will be going to, or past, Chatham, Gillingham, Raynham, Newington, Sittingbourne, Tainham, Faversham, which is where we will split off, and go to Selling, Canterbury East, through Beaksbourne, Addisham, Aylsham, Snowdown, then to page 14, This is going to be quite a long stream, about 2 hours total, so don't feel like you have to stick around if you have things to do. Let's see. After Snowdown, Shepherd's Well, Cairnsey, and then Dover Priory, which is very close to where the Eurostar ducks under the English Channel. Almost time to go here at Rochester. Doors closing. Closed. Clear from the guard, and off we go. Folks, welcome to the southeastern service to Dover Priory via Faversham and Canterbury East. Please remember, you must have a ticket to board today's service, or you are liable to pay a penalty fare. In addition, please remember, if something doesn't look right, please speak to a member of staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. See it, say it, sorted. A little bit of tunnel action here ahead of Chatham. 29 miles an hour. This is the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And as you can see, we're stopping at Chatham. Already going pretty slowly, so hopefully it won't be difficult to make a precise stop here. We've done pretty well so far. One of my goals, we've done a little bit of speeding, is going to be to stop precisely at our stations on today's journey. There's the 10-car stop right here. And I'll just ease off the brakes to give us a nice smooth little stop here. Beautiful. And doors. Let's see where I ended up. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Should have gone 10, 15 feet further, but that's pretty good. I can live with that. Book a test drive today in this car. Nothing but oranges. Warning, limited clearance. You will get hit by the train if you try to stand here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Doors closing. Closed. Beep, beep. Sometimes Train Simulator doesn't do the guard's beep, beep if you didn't have the camera in the cab when the doors started closing, which is one of the dumbest things. But whatever. 30-mile-an-hour limit still applies. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Ah, coffee. Whoop, I saw that. Time for speeding as a treat. Next stop is Gillingham in 1.5 miles. Clear banner repeater. Entering a 50 and then a 60, and then Gillingham after a tunnel. Here's the 50 limit. There are some houses. Come on. The whole train is almost in the 50. There we go. Full throttle. Let's get going. Again, a nice place to live. It would be very nice to live in those apartment buildings there and watch the trains go by here on the Chatham Mainline. Clear signal as we get towards 50 miles an hour. 60 zone, gotta wait for the whole train. A little bit of tunnel horn there. We've got all of our check marks so far, that's good. I saw this is a workshop scenario, by the way. This route is an official Dovetail Train Simulator route, but this particular scenario is a workshop route created by a fan because, as I mentioned earlier, Train Simulator, Dovetail didn't include any full-length scenarios that go all the way from one end of this route to the other. They split it up into pieces, which is annoying. People do usually just stay on stops, on 4 stops that aren't theirs. Yeah. Unless it's a really long stop, like cross-country Amtraks have some stops that are like an hour because they build those in as either an opportunity to make up time, like if they're an hour behind, they can just not stop for an hour at those stops. Make up an hour, or they are also used as fresh air breaks where you can step off the train, walk around a little bit, get some fresh air, smoke if you smoke, but other than that, you pretty much just stay on the train until your destination. Also, of course, if you need to change services along the route. That was the other train on the adjacent track. Off to London Victoria, I assume. What does it say there? Victoria, have fun in London train. I think we got here to Gillingham a little early, but that's alright. Gillingham. Next stop is Raynham, and then Newington, and then Sittingbourne. Yep. At least once, possibly twice this week, I got caught up in having a conversation about infrastructure in the U.S. and ranting about the particular topic yesterday was how freight operators are supposed to give priority to Amtrak trains, the freight operators on the track, but they rarely do. They almost always prioritize their own trains. And then once an Amtrak train is a little bit behind, it's out of its slot, and then it gets delayed behind other freight trains, and everything's terrible forever. And that's how trains end up being like 6 hours late or a day late into Chicago or to the West Coast. Infrastructure. Next stop, Raynham in 3 miles. 60 mile an hour limit with a 90 coming up. .47. There's the 60 limit. Hello, train. That is a Javelin, Faversham to St. Pancras. See, we have some train storage over there. Very good, very good. Here starts a 90 zone. And now we can go up to that 90. little bit of a glitch there, as Train Simulator likes to do. No biggie though. Pedestrian overpass action. Clear AWS, clear signal. miles an hour. We're going to be almost a minute early to Raynham, or so the prediction is. We do have a warning, 25, we're not diverging. You haven't taken any long distance cross-country trains, Pieman, is that correct? Oh, we need to slow down. Beautiful. I used to stare at the speedometer when doing this to try to get my location right, but I find it's much more intuitive to just eye the end of the platform or wherever I'm aiming at, and then just do it kind of by intuition. I am much more successful when I do that. You should. It's awesome. Although it's a tough time to do it right now. A combination of Amtrak being short-staffed and having less equipment available because there's a bunch under repairs, and lots of people preferring to take the train than flying because of COVID, means that prices are very high right now for their sleeper services, their long-distance sleeper services. I have a long desired goal of doing a circle around the U.S., something like New York to Chicago to Portland or Seattle, down the coast to like LA, then across into Texas, maybe then up through the middle of the country, like the Texas Eagle or something, to go to Chicago again, or continuing across to New Orleans, Florida, and then up the East Coast to New York. I have a ton of Amtrak points. I was going to say internet points. I used to have a lot of internet points on my Chemetech Karma. I don't know what it is now. But a ton of Amtrak points, so it could be worthwhile, but I want to save them until the prices come down just a bit. Clear. Off we go. 90 going into an 80. There's a little grade crossing there that I'm blowing my horn for. .60 limit if we're diverging. As far as I know, we are not. I believe our next stop is Sittingbourne. I may be getting ahead of myself, though. Nope. Oh, sorry. Newington. I thought we were already past Newington. I was wrong. Gotta keep that situational awareness. Oh no, it is Sittingbourne. I guess we're skipping Newington then. There we go then. There we go. 70 limit coming up in a mile and a half. There is lots that I can say about how wonderful it is to take cross-country train trips, from looking out the window and seeing all the different variety of, just geography and land in the U.S. It's so varied, from, the cragginess of the Rockies to just how flat parts of the Midwest are, to like the Southwest and its fascinatingly colored stone and canyons, to the forests of the Northeast. We have a lot of different variety here, and sleeping on the train is really cool. I love the dining on Amtrak, although I'm a little more nervous about it these days, where you are generally seated with a bunch of random people. I've heard many interesting life stories, people in different walks of life taking the train for different reasons. When they do communal dining, seating people together. So it's really fun. Highly recommend it if you have the opportunity. Pedestrian crossing action. 70 limit, followed by an 80, and another 2 2/3 miles to Sittingbourne. I hope I'm doing okay with my UK pronunciations. I don't have my much valued English pronunciation guide here today. Rosemary is otherwise occupied. You can't do remote electricianing? I suppose that would be a challenge, wouldn't it? You just need like a telepresence robot. High voltage power lines above us. Warning for something. Hope it's not for that 30 limit. No, we're definitely not going that way. What was that AWS warning for? Clear signal. Huh. It's a mystery. Phantom AWS warnings. Clear AWS. I guess we're good. That is the Sheerness branch, up to Sheerness on Sea. We're not going there today. I'm sure people would be very comfortable with a robot remotely working with electricity. That seems great and not at all problematic. Sittingbourne is the station stop coming up. Where's the 10 car marker? There it is. No, that's the 8 car marker. Where's the 10 car? Huh. That was weird. Doors. What's happening here? There's 6 and 8. There's 12. There's no 10. What is this nonsense? Where in the world is the 10 car marker? What? That's so weird. Somebody forgot something here. No 10 car marker. Huh. Did they hide it behind the sign by accident? Is there one on the other side? 8, 10, 12. Huh. Very weird. Where you going, train? Where are you off to? No destination. It's a mystery. Apparently I'm not going anywhere either. Let's go. Next stop, Chatham, platform 2. Chatham or Chatham. 3 miles. 80-mile-an-hour limit. Let's do it. Speed. Three whistle boards between us and Chatham. Hello, train. I think that's a warning for the 75. Yeah, see, that gets a warning, and that's a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit change. Live with that. Doors open. Chatham, some combination thereof. Alright, our next stop will be Faversham, at which point I will be on new territory for me as we head towards Canterbury East. Just adjusting things here so I can put my track atlas on my console here instead of on my lap. Not too many passengers here at Chatham. Birds, though. It's an interesting bird. Doors closed. Off we go to Faversham in 4 miles. We're now an hour and 5 minutes out of London Victoria on our southeastern service to Dover Priory. '80 limit, going to 85, going to 90 at 6:15 p.m. on this autumn evening. Here's the 85 limit. We're nowhere close to that. $75 miles an hour. 144p. That's really unfortunate, given that my computer is running at my train simulator is running at like 4420 by 2160, which I'm down sampling to 1080p to record and stream. So for you to see 144p is quite a downscaling. That would be for the 75 limit, which we dare have a sign for. Pedestrian crossing. Exactly 75 as we roll into that 75 zone. There's the crossing. Another crossing. 60 limit. Step down for the 60 and then to stop at Faversham. There's the 60. I suppose if you're looking at a phone, 144p would be not bad. There is a Javelin waiting to go to London from Faversham. 4 to 6. 10 to 12. 7 to 12. You know. Beautiful. Doors. Folks, this is your Dover Priory service via Canterbury East. If you are going to Margate, Ramsgate, or any stations en route, please change here for another service. This is a Canterbury East, Dover Priory bound southeastern train. Oh, okay. 1080p on your phone, 144p on your computer then. That's exciting. Looks like we were a little bit early here at Faversham. Maybe we can go look at this Javelin while we wait. St. Pancras International. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coaches. Javelin. It's a pretty cool looking train. I don't love these little sticky outy bits here. They're not my favorite. But what are you going to do? I don't know what they're for. They're slightly odd. Doors locked. Off we go. Next stop, Selling, platform 2, en route to Canterbury East. We're going to be taking a diverge off to the right, or bearing right anyway. We'll see if it's a divergence or not. It would actually have been that switch right there, it looks like. That is the route we would have taken. If, like the last time I drove this route, we were going to Ramsgate. But we're going to Canterbury and then Dover. Clear AWS. 65 limit coming up. As I commented last time, it's interesting that Train Simulator is showing overpasses in the interface now. I feel like it didn't used to do that. Luckily, we have a 90 limit coming up. Also, some trucks going over that overpass. Faster! Speed! Speed and power. Power and speed. That is my philosophy. Just about a mile. Let's say just about half a mile till Selling. Going 76 miles an hour, so I have to design my braking curve accordingly. It's also a 40 limit at the end of the platform. Ooh, we're going too fast. We're in danger of overshooting. We're in serious danger of overshooting. Bye, end of the platform. Whoops. That was definitely the biggest mistake we've made so far. Doors open. Folks, if you find yourself in the first 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 for some reason, coaches of today's train, please walk back to exit the train. We apologize for any inconvenience. Yep. Little bit of platform overshooting there. Definitely my biggest error yet today. But what can you do? I let that go too late. Good route learning. Doors are closed. Let's go. Next stop is Canterbury East. Yeah, the sunlight's pretty. This is quite an outdated... What? What are you on about? What am I getting warned for? I guess the 55. Alright. Duly noted, 55 limit coming up. Thank you. Although it's a fairly primitive engine, the visuals can be nice sometimes. They can indeed be nice. Six miles to Canterbury East. Clear AWS. Here's the 55 limit right here. Then we need to go back down to 40, which I should get a warning about. But apparently not. Almost into a 90 zone here. And 90. 85 limit, followed by 75 as we head towards Canterbury. There we go, down for the 75. And the whistle board and a 90 coming up. I guess we don't have to blow our horns for grade crossings that have crossing gates. Crossing arms, whatever you want to call them. Speed up a little bit, but I'm going to have to, whoops, kick my water over. That's what I'm going to have to do. Slow right back down to 70. So let's do so. Ho, 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 ho. That's nice. That's well nice. .40 limit. We're getting a warning for that, so let's slow down for it. Whistle board. Little bit of actual whistle. Down for the 40. I wonder why we have to go so slowly. Is there a bridge? Is there a sharp curve? I guess it's this sharpish curve here. And a bridge. Ooh, that's some super elevation action. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Have I mentioned I like sunsets and trains? Because I like sunsets and trains. Canterbury East. We're supposed to be a few seconds early. Car stop. 6 to 8 car stop. Where is the 10 car stop? Oh, don't tell me I overshot that. No way. That's definitely good. Yeah, that's perfect. It's a little hard to tell. It feels like you've gone a little too far because of just what your perspective is as the driver. You know, the side of the window, I forget what you would call that. Blocks looking at what's directly to your left. Guess I can look this way and see the 6 to 8 car stop there. If it was real life, I'd be able to see that in my peripheral vision. I suppose that would make it easier. Let's get some windows open here. We need some fresh air. Unfortunately, although in Train Sim World that makes good outside noises, in Train Simulator Classic it does not. Oh, so let's look around Canterbury East while we're here real quick. We've got some big apartment buildings, big church. I assume this is Canterbury Cathedral? Just kind of sitting in a field by itself. Can we see it from here? Yeah, there it is. We can't tell it's sitting in a field by itself. Got some houses, got some sunset, all is well with the world. Just gonna take another quick screenshot. Got the cathedral in there. And the station sign, ideally. Yeah, there we go. Hold up. This is very important. Gotta do this. Canterbury East, Cathedral, train. Beautiful. Let's go. Beaksbourne. What a good name for a place. Beaksbourne. Followed by Adisham, Aylsham, and Snowdown. Or Snowdon. Not sure which. Despite my little faffing about with taking photos, it looks like we're still estimated to be early to Beaksbourne. $53 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. Slow it down a little bit. Move my mouse pointer out of the way. Good enough. Sirens in the real world, as we do. Guess it's just you and me, Pie Man. I feel like it's been pretty quiet otherwise. Michael was here briefly, but I think you are my loyal watcher and fan. My loyal companion here, for which I thank you. Up to 90, although we only have 2 miles till Beaksbourne. There it is, on the HUD. It's definitely getting along towards sunset here. I do like autumn. Autumn is my favorite season. It starts to get cool after the heat of summer. Pretty leaves, apples and cider. It's good stuff. I'm in favor. Unfortunately, it's followed by winter, which I find too dark, albeit a nice temperature. 73 miles an hour. Let's start slowing down. Actually, this seems about right. Don't want to overshoot the platform again. Yeah, this is good. It's actually probably a little bit too aggressive, in fact. Back it off just a little bit. I'm glad you enjoy trains. I enjoy having you for trains. Feels like you're riding along with me. Gotta have somebody in the co-pilot seat over there. Oop. Fireman's seat, as would be in the US. That'll do. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Bye, train. Southeastern, Beaksbourne. That is a weird sounding bird. Huh, I don't actually realize the clouds are moving that fast when I'm sitting in my train. This is pretty here. I'm a fan. Doesn't go very far into the distance, but that's alright. That's just how life works. The audio was delayed there. It sounded like the doors were still closing, but because this little blue light down here on the left was lit up, doors close, interlock, I knew that it was safe for us to go. Next stop is Addisham, or Addisham. I assume it's Addisham. Platform 2 and 3 miles. Speed limit 90. Let's get there. I was just pondering that the symbol for braking, for stopping, brake in Train Simulator is a circle with a dot in it and little triangles on either side, which look like wheel chocks to me, the little triangles of wood or some other material you put under wheels to make sure something doesn't roll away. Which is an interesting symbol to use for braking, because usually a chock is like when you put a train away, you chock it just to make sure if the brakes release that it doesn't roll away. So I wouldn't expect that to be the symbol for just normal braking when you want to slow down. That's interesting. One and a half miles to Addisham. Let's see if I can puzzle out from my track atlas while I keep an eye. Actually, no, let's wait for the station, but I wanted to figure out how much further we have. It's 2 miles between Addisham and Snowdown. And we'll see how much distance it is from Snowdown to Dover after we stop at Addisham. And let's not forget we need to slow down for Addisham. No overshooting platforms for us today. Basically, the answer is we have about 10 more miles, so we're almost there. Almost at the end of today's journey. Another 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so? 15 minutes, let's say. We have stopped too aggressively. Looks like this platform is too small for our train. Yeah, the whole train is not going to fit on this platform. That's interesting. Therefore, we want to go all the way to the end of the platform. If we can. Good enough. Doors. Folks, as your conductor hopefully informed you at some point, if you are in the rear 2 cars of today's train, you will need to walk up to exit here at Addisham. Only the first 8 cars have platformed due to short platforms here at Addisham. That door closing sound was from the last station. Train Simulator is strange. It's pretty. Little road that goes under the train tracks here. Little street light. Walking along. Seeing the train up there. Anyway, time to go. We've got our door interlock, noises notwithstanding. Hop off the bridge. Yeah, a wheel with a semicircle segment next to it is exactly what I'd expect, like a brake shoe. Exactly. Yeah, or a gauge that looks like the one that says bar here, which is the brake. Well, the left side is the main res, MR, and the right side is brake cylinder, BC. Next stop, Aylsham, platform 2 in a mile. So we won't go too fast. Ooh, we're estimated to be 20 seconds late to Aylsham. How did that happen? It's interesting. I guess I spent too much time staring at Aylsham. Or I eased into the platform too slowly. I forgot about time. I was just worried about being precise. Let's be a little bit aggressive here then. I think our train is still too long. Folks, I still anticipate we will not fit on this platform, so if you're in the rear cars, please begin walking forward at this time. Oh, that's a nice stop. That's a nice stop right there. Yep, I'm happy with that. Sunset in Chatham, along the Chatham Mainline, I should say. In, where are we? Sussex, Surrey? What county are you? I'm bad at my UK counties. Door interlock. Let's go. Power! Speed! We're estimated to be 10 seconds late to Snowden. Check mark so far. So far, so good. Pretty short distance. Almost exactly a mile between Aylsham and Snowden, whatever. Now we're supposed to be 14 seconds late. Will that be true? We shall see. We shall see. I really, really, really want a big combined train simulator network of all the routes put together into one giant network. In the UK, at least. Sorry, I got a little aggressive on the braking there, I realized. Once again, folks, if you're in the last two cars, please walk up at this time. Yeah, fanning the brakes, not a fan. Good enough. We got 8 cars on the platform. Only missed 2 cars. As we must, because look how short this platform is. Stand on this little overpass here and watch the train leave. Ma'am, you missed the train. Unless you just got off the train. Bye, train. Anyway, 75 limit. Going up to 90. Clear signal, and somewhere here is going to be a whistle board. But let's get going because we're supposed to be early to Shepherd's Well or Shepherd's Well. There is a station that you get off at if you're going to an excellent tram/trolley museum called Crike, I think is the correct way to say it, although I'm not positive. The name of the town is spelled What Stand Well merged together. What Stand Well. And I thought, it must be like What Stanwell or Whatstanwell or something like that. Whatstanwell. But no, it's What Stand Well. You just say the words. What Stand Well. That's the name of the town. Shepherd's Well or Shepherd's Well? Let's call it Shepherd's Well based on that example. Folks, once again, if you're in the rear cars, please walk forward. That was better braking. That was much better braking. Oh, a little bit overshot. Oof. The thing I preferred about that is I didn't crawl through the station slowly. Still getting oriented to the braking profile here. But it's an improvement. It's an improvement. Alright, so this is Shepherd's Well. If I flip back to page 14 of my handy dandy track atlas here. Next stop is Kearsney and then Dover Priory. Folks, our next stop will be Kearsney, followed by Dover Priory. Actually, in my track atlas, it spells the name of this station as two words, Shepherd's Well. Well, we're not 8 and we're not 12. I guess I'll put 12. That's interesting. How are we 10 cars? Don't these cars come in 4-car Mary sets? Something to look up later, I suppose. We've got a long tunnel. This tunnel is something. The Lyddon Tunnel. It is about 1.5 miles long. Lydden. And we have a 65 limit at the end of the tunnel. Just a reminder, some FUD for you. If you see something that doesn't look right, please speak to a member of staff or text British Transport Police 61016. See it's sorted. mile and 4/5 to Kearsney. Notice that this is a third rail train and line. We've had third rail for power next to the track the whole distance, as opposed to many of the other routes where we have overhead wire and pantographs on the train. These trains do have pantographs, as you can see on the middle of the second coach, the back of the second coach. But we don't have them raised here. We're using the third rail. Oop. Here is our AC system control. Pan up, shoes down, pan down, shoes up. Start shedding a little bit of speed here. You are observant, Pieman. So no calculator projects coming up anytime soon, Pieman? Logical Joe has joined a few of my recent streams, and he's been working on a graphing program that he's been integrating with the OS, the TIOS. So he pushed me to, or kind of prompted me to release the source to Graph 3DC, my 3D grapher for the TI-84 Plus C Silver Edition. So it's nice to get that source code out there. Anyway, that's a long-winded way to say any calculator projects. I don't know what that warning is for. Doors. Thanks. I really enjoyed working on Graph 3DC. As I was saying in my other stream, it was a significant challenge integrating with the TIOS, not the least of which is because of its many bugs and many inconsistencies in how they use their own flags and tools. But it was a really interesting reverse engineering task to figure out how to integrate with the y equals screen, the grapher, the table, the graph format, the graph window, all those various things. In the end, I don't know, with a lot of my later calculator projects, it feels like they were a little bit of an exercise in reverse engineering, but also futility, like challenging projects that didn't end up having a huge amount of use. I don't know, obviously Doors CS is like my flagship project, and I'm pleased that it's found its way onto probably hundreds and hundreds of thousands of graphing calculators. But there's a bunch of features like CalcNet, like the Doors CS SDK, the Doors CS GUI SDK, the DCSB libraries that I'm really happy about as technical achievements, and I feel were very rewarding to build, but not a lot of people use them to create programs. So, it's a little bit disappointing, but I have to think of them as cool projects that made me happy, rather than try to worry about how many people ended up using them. What are those few things you are working on? Anything you are willing to share? Are you keeping them under your hat? Logical Joe was saying he's gotten more into the habit of waiting until he's almost done with projects to announce them or show anything about them, which I respect, although that has typically not been as much my pattern, at least with graphing calculator projects. Single yellow, the next one could be a red. And there is Dover Priory, our final stop. Folks, we will soon be approaching Dover Priory, the last stop on today's service. There are no other stops after Dover Priory. Please begin gathering your belongings at this time. You can't leave them here. You have to take them with you. We don't want to look after them. And get ready for our arrival at today's terminus, Dover Priory. Thank you for riding Southeastern. It has been a pleasure to carry you this autumn evening, and we look forward to having you on board again in the near future. Next stop, Dover Priory. Platform 1. Dover Priory, folks. This is Dover Priory. Did that signal just drop to red as I approached it? That's interesting. I'm also always fascinated by the way they do the glow in Train Simulator. It's like a plane in front of the light. That's actually really clever. It gives the right effect of like a lens flare, light glare, without actually being a lighting effect. It's just an object. Kind of cool. Ooh, Dungeon CE, cool. That is very exciting. Do we get check marks everywhere? We did. Not bad. I also wanted to experiment with shoes up. Did that pull our third rail shoes up? Yes, it did. And then just for funsies, let's put our pan up. Yeah, pan up. Very good. Anyway, pan down. Shoes down. We can't click DC System Select for whatever reason. Make sure we have line. No line. Can't click MCB. That's exciting. Anyway, we'll put it in neutral and leave our train ready for the next person. Pretty sky tonight. All right, well, this has been a fun service all the way from London, Victoria, along the Chatham Mainline through Rochester and Faversham and Canterbury East to Dover Priory. It's been more good route learning for me. The train ends here. Great job. Good job. Another driver will take over for the return trip to London, so you may rest. And I shall. Thank you. I know we did a bunch of speeding. Luckily, we didn't do any spatting. We didn't pass any signals of danger. I will give that a thumbs up for sure. And I have an Amazon delivery, so I'm going to call it there. I will see you